Several artists, intellectuals, lawyers have written this letter, a public letter to the Chief Minister and legislators of Karnataka. They say that the identity of Karnataka is being altered fundamentally because of various attacks which have taken place. I'm going to discuss a couple of key quotes of this letter, but let me introduce my panel. K. Rahman Khan is a senior Congress leader. Deshratan Nigam is a political analyst, someone close to the RSS. Flavia Agnes is one of the signatories in this letter. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. But first, a quote from this letter itself, which says, "Over the past few months, the state has witnessed the brutal killing of youth in several districts, rampant hate speeches, public threats and disruptions of worship by religious minorities, honor killing, moral policing, misogynistic statements by legislators, and incidents of hostile and violent encounters between various religious groups." Flavia Agnes, how is this, in your mind, fundamentally changing the identity of Karnataka?
Actually, I grew up in Karnataka, and I'm from a small town called Mangalore. And in Mangalore, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, all of them have a significant number in the demography. You can see it's like a very composite society, and it was very secular. There was no issue of communalism here. But now when you see, whether it's Mangalore, whether it's all over Karnataka, you can see a lot of attacks on the Christian minorities here. And this has come in more recent times. Attacks on churches, attacks on individuals, attacks on communities. And this is changing the composite character of the basic demography of Karnataka. And Christians are feeling very insecure. They feel that they've been targeted. And this kind of fear is not good for democracy.
Today, I just want to put what you're saying into context, and then go across to Deshratan Nigam. Let's take a look at a couple of instances. On the 23rd of December last year, 2021, in Mandya, fringe elements barged inside a school. They interrupted Christmas celebrations. Again, on the 23rd of December last year, in Chikkabalapur, Karnataka, a statue of St. Anthony was damaged. On the 11th of December, in Kolar, right-wing activists set a Christian religious book, the Bible, on fire. In Belgavi in Karnataka, again on the 11th of December, a priest escaped a machete attack. On the 28th of November in Hassan, Bajrang Dal activists barged inside a church. On the 7th of November in Belgavi, Sri Ram Seni members entered a Christian prayer hall, locked up devotees and a pastor. On the 17th of October 2021 in Hubballi, Bajrang Dal and VHP members stormed inside a church, started chanting bhajans. One more example, on the 10th of October in Udupi in Karnataka, right-wing activists barged inside a home alleging illegal conversion. So lots of examples just the last couple of months. Deshratan Nigam, do you not believe that some of the points mentioned in this letter are valid, that there needs to be introspection?
Vishnu, I was very carefully reading that letter, and I found it is bereft of statistics and bereft of even instances, although you have given certain instances.
I've given about, 8 or 9 of them, yeah.
No, fine, that's fine. You have given, but the letter does not speak of so. And basically what I could find out was they were against cow protection laws and the Anti-Conversion Act that has been made out there. And however, these, cow protection is a mandate given in the Constitution, and Anti-Conversion Acts have no religion mentioned in it. If anybody tries to forcibly, through inducement or fraudulently tries to convert, is going to be punished. So I don't see what kind of an opposition is there. Yes, there have been reactions when people have tried to, go to communities and try to convert through fraudulent and inducements. There have been reactions, and they should not have taken the law and order into their own hands. And I was looking into the NCRB, data statistics. The IPC crimes in Karnataka, it is 4th year consecutive, it is in decline. However, the 3 top states are Delhi, Tamil Nadu and Kerala.
No, but it's the nature of the crimes, right?
Yes. I'm saying
crimes against a minority.
See,
it's crimes against the Christian community by and large that we're talking about.
Let me answer that, Vishnu. Let me answer that. Our IPC does not distinguish between crimes against, religion-wise.
No, but over here we are talking about a specific type of crime.
No, I'm trying IPC crimes, and whatever minority crimes that you're talking about, they are covered in different heads in the IPC. So IPC crimes this is the 4th year straight it is going down in Karnataka.
All right.
So law and order has improved. These are isolated incidents. You can't generalize, and especially when you don't give
let's all right.
don't give incidents.
Okay, generalized
and
incidents, or is this part of something larger? That's a fair point. Let me ask K. Rahman Khan, would you like to take that point? Deshratna Nigam points out that statistically these crimes are on the decline, right? And therefore what we've been reporting is isolated. How would you respond to that, Mr.
He
Khan?
mentioned about the crimes, that is, but not crimes against religion, communalism, that data statistics which you yourself have given, and in addition to that I have number of data and statistics which I can reveal, which the atrocities on the other minorities like Muslims and Christians. So the data itself will not going to reveal that the atrocities have come down or anything. Data is general data, but here the academician, what they have written is express their concern is a valid concern. And on the day when we are celebrating the 73rd Republic Day, we are breaking the constitution, because from the time the BJP has come into power, the communal incidents are happening, particularly in the coastal areas, and particularly from last 6 to 10 months, the communal disturbance has increased in number of cases, and this is one of the reasons, because the government is not taking any adequate action.
Okay.
The chief is on record to say that he has justified the
Okay, so just 1 second. I want to read another example from the letter. And this is quoting the letter. Recent legislation such as the Cow Protection and Anti-Conversion Acts are pogroms against the economic and cultural rights of religious minorities. Why do you say that, ma'am? Flavia Agnes?
Exactly. I mean, to explain this, particularly the anti-conversion law. In fact, there's been a lot of opposition in Karnataka. There have been a lot of demonstrations led by the clergy, the bishop, everybody's come together because they feel it is a direct attack on their rights. As a minority community, their protection under Article 25 to 28, which gives them certain freedom to practice, propagate their religion. And this has not caused any problem before this, that Christians have been living very peacefully in Karnataka. There has never been a problem here, and suddenly a problem is created. This whole conversion bogey is thrown up, and routine religious activity is being interrupted. There was a lot of fear around Christmas time this year that the attacks will be mounted and there will be a greater insecurity for Christians within church, within community practices, etc. So this letter comes from that feeling of insecurity among the Christian minorities in Karnataka.
Okay.
And a lot of people have signed, I have signed this letter too, as somebody who belongs to Karnataka. And I feel this is not good for a healthy democracy. Minorities cannot be held at random like this. So the cow protection law is also affecting the livelihood of a lot of Muslims. But I'm not commenting on the cow protection bill right now. I'm only concerned about the anti-conversion laws that is being
Okay, all right. I'll get Deshratna Nigam to respond to these points with just one more quote. You know, looking at the larger picture, and the quote is this: "No longer are harmony, peace and tolerance the hallmarks of the state. Karnataka's reputation as a business destination is bound to be negatively impacted, as all types of economic activity depend upon an atmosphere of social peace and harmony." Deshratna Nigam, Flavia Agnes raised lots of points. Please respond to them.
Yeah, one by one, let me answer, and I hope everybody is patient on this. The fact remains that anybody who has read Anti-Conversion Act, it does not talk if anybody is being converted from Christianity into other religion or from any other religion into Christianity. It is religiously neutral. If anybody tries to convert any from one religion to another by using fraudulent means or any other illegal means, then it is a punishable crime, and Ms. Agnes should not have any problem on that. Kerala has a Christian community has a huge problem in Kerala because of this conversion, and they are demanding the Anti-Conversion Act there. So the fact remains, in cow protection, the directive principles of state policy in the constitution mandates the cow protection. So nobody should have a problem. These artificial, flowery
No, but
words in a letter.
statistically, Deshratna Nigam, where are the statistics which actually show conversions taking place in Karnataka?
Please let me tell you, the fact is, huge amount of NGOs, if you recall, their funding has been, stopped because there were.
But what are the numbers of actual conversions taking place?
No,
that has become such an issue.
No, it is an issue, and ask the Christian.
No, but how is it members of the
also.
Christian community don't say that it's an issue? There would be stray incidents, and they oppose it. They oppose it.
Let me tell you,
but
a crime.
Statistically, sir, give me numbers, sir.
Let me tell you one thing.
Yes.
Even if one murder takes place, that does not mean you should not have a anti-murder law or a crime to be punished.
Nobody is questioning the law, sir. And of course, forced conversions are wrong of any religion, right?
Once you agree,
but the Christian community pointedly says, because remarks have been made against the Christian community in Karnataka, saying there is massive conversion taking place. The point is, where are the statistics, numbers, examples of this?
Let me tell you the mechanism which is going on. What is happening is, people are converted, they retain their names, and in the official, in the church they are Christians, but in the official census they are shown as Hindus, because the benefits that they get being from SC and ST.
No, but where are the numbers to back this up, sir?
I'm telling you, believe me, have
Rahman Khan has a response to this, Mr. Khan.
Have a separate program on this, Vishnu.
Deshi has made a pointed remark about people maintain their name in two different faiths to gain benefits. And this is an example of conversion.
Mr. Nigam quoted statistics when it comes to the atrocities taking place. Now when it comes to the conversion, he said statistics is not important. Even one conversion is to be there. This is ridiculous. It is not there. See, the question is, law is all right, but it will be misused by this, what is called the social moral police, because every people takes the government with the government support, whether it is anti-conversion or a cow slaughter or any other law, right. The power has been given to this.
All right, I think the key point, of course, and I need to wrap this up because I need to move to something else
give
now.
Me 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
No, sir, 1 sec. I've just sort of been fair to everybody over here. I do need to wrap this up because statistically we really do need to see whether this is true and it's happening in the numbers, because whatever we've done and asked, it doesn't seem to indicate that at all. But there is a lot of concern over here. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us. I need to move to my second topic this evening. Ghulam Nabi Azad was the lone Congress leader to be awarded a Padma Award under the Modi dispensation this year. It's a move that's once again spotlighted the sharp divide within the party, with leaders of the Group of 23 or 23 rebels and the Gandhi family's supporters sparring openly. Now, the former Union Minister Anand Sharma has wished Ghulam Nabi Azad for being awarded the country's third highest honour, calling it a well-deserved recognition of his lifelong enriching contribution. His colleague Kapil Sibal was more direct, saying it's ironic that the Congress doesn't need his services when the nation recognises his contributions to public life. There's also been a response to Jairam Ramesh's remarks, which we'll be talking about in an interview to Ashwani Kumar. But before that, a quick couple of comments coming in on this issue. Is it really something to be raged over? Should not the leaders appreciate Azad for this? Another comment over here. Ghulam Nabi Azad has again spotlighted the sharp divide within the party with leaders of the Group of 23. I spoke to the senior leader Ashwani Kumar in an interview which clearly exposes the rift on this issue between senior leaders of the Congress. Do you share the views of Kapil Sibal where he says that, look, more needs to be done to recognize Ghulam Nabi Azad and possibly use his services for the Congress party?
I have always believed that these are national honors and coveted national honors.
Right.
They should be respected. And I find absolutely nothing wrong in Ghulam Nabi Azad accepting the award. And these awards should be recognized for what they are and should not be colored or viewed from the prism or perspective of which party is conferring the award on whom. And I think there is a limit to innuendo, there's a limit to pun or criticism by colleagues in such matters. And I think the language that has been used in the tweet to which you referred to is nothing less than a shameful innuendo unbecoming of the traditions of the Congress party, unbecoming of the imperative need to maintain civility and decorum in political discourse.
You are, of course, referring to Jairam Ramesh's tweet. Let's show that tweet, please. Carry on, sir, with what you're saying. Yes.
So this is, as I said, a shameful use of language, unbecoming of the dignitarian ethos of the Congress party, and unbecoming of the traditions of the Congress party. This is a national honor, and I think we should rejoice in the fact that one of our own has been conferred with this honor.
In that case, why has this not been more celebrated within the Congress? As Kapil Sibal was saying, that shouldn't the Congress be going overboard and saying, this is wonderful, this is great, thank you very much, and congratulations, Ghulam Nabi Sahab?
Well, you can be understated in certain things, but you certainly don't have to be denigrating about it. My problem is with the language used. My problem is with the kind of narrowness of vision that the tweet displays.
Right. You are referring again, once again, change that tweet to, yeah, go ahead, carry on, sir, yes.
And I'm talking that in the context of the words of that tweet. I find those objectionable, condemnable, reprehensible, and this kind of a language should never be used, not only for your own party leaders, but even for political opponents.
Ashwini Kumarji, those are extremely strong words, but it comes at a time when the Congress party faces all sorts of problems. So if a senior leader like you, says or uses those words against a senior leader like Jairam Ramesh, I understand you have a change in perspective. What are people outside the party expected to believe?
Well, it's left to the judgment of the people of this country. And let me tell you, political parties and political leaders are on test on a daily basis. They are judged not by what they say or proclaim, but by what they actually do. And I think the leader of the nation, or the party that wants to lead the nation, has to underscore its qualitative distinction. And my party has its own distinction. It has a glorious record. And I think it has a record where dignity is respected. And I think that this tweet is a gross aberration of that tradition and this mistake needs to be redeemed. I don't know how, but it needs to be corrected.
Is that a perspective shared by Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi?
I don't know about that. I have not spoken to them, but I can tell you certainly about Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. Irrespective of how she views a particular individual or irrespective of her differences with anyone, she has been mindful of maintaining dignity and she's mindful of individual sensitivities. I can say this on the basis of
But then why have we not seen tweets or public comments from Mrs. Gandhi, Rahul or Priyanka? Congratulating Ghulam Nabi Azad in quite the same manner as we've seen others like Anand Sharma or yourself.
Well, I wouldn't want to comment on that. It is for them to decide what they need to do. I have given you a personal view, a view that I maintain consistent with my view that the end objective of every political leader is to maintain his own and others' dignity. Without that, there's no point being in public life.
So what about the opposite view? I take your point about the language used by Jairam Ramesh, which you object to. But Buddhadev Bhattacharya has, for example, turned down the Padma Bhushan and said that for him it doesn't work. It is a perspective. Why do you necessarily disagree, given the fact that you are so ideologically and otherwise opposed to the BJP?
I may be ideologically opposed to A, B, or C. I am not particularly ideologically inclined with the CPM as well. Right. But if Mr. Buddhadev Bhattacharya, in his own wisdom, and I have great respect for the elderly politician who's deserving of the utmost respect by all of us, if he, in his own wisdom, has chosen to take a particular course of action, it doesn't mean that Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad is not entitled to have his own course.
Sure. So therefore, sir, the final couple of questions. Do you believe this Congress leadership needs, as Kapil Sibal suggests, to use Ghulam Nabi Azad a lot more? That's what he said in his tweet. Ironic that the Congress doesn't need his services when the nation recognizes his contributions to public life.
Well, I don't think I need to comment on ABC's tweet. I have given you my perspective, and my perspective
No, sir, I'm not asking you to comment on the tweet in the case of Mr. Sibal. I'm asking you to comment on the view. It is an important perspective.
Yeah, the view expressed in his tweet. Anyway, so I'm saying I have given you my views, and my views are crystal clear. And the view is that nobody is entitled to demean anyone else.
Got it. Sir, final question to you. You lost another up-and-coming, promising, and a fairly senior leader, former Union Minister RPN Singh, yesterday. And today we see these differences of perspective within senior Congress leaders. You and Jairam Ramesh, you disagree fundamentally. So what are people outside expected to believe? Senior leaders disagreeing publicly with each other, other senior leaders, former ministers, quitting the party and joining the BJP.
Senior leaders quitting the party is a bad omen. This needs to be reversed. But merely by saying this, we will not be able to reverse it. Obviously, different people have different reasons for quitting. And I don't want to make a general observation about who is right and who is wrong at a given point of time. I'm nobody to enter into the mental processes of people or to pass a moral judgment. But I do believe that senior leaders or anyone who wants to be in public life must have the guts to tell the people at large where they stand. Political democracy is about making your views known to the people and open yourself to their judgment. The people of this country are wise. They will decide in their best judgment who is on the right side of history and who is on the wrong side of history.
Right. But the fact of the matter is that you've still got these exits. And it's quite clear in the case of RPN Singh that your senior leadership of the Congress didn't know what he was going to do. He was going to be a star campaigner in Uttar Pradesh. And just shortly before that was to take off, he's quit the BJP, quit the Congress, joined the BJP. So that being the case, is there not a big worry that, others would be wanting to perhaps quit as well? The relationship with Sachin Pilot is testy at best.
It's worrisome. It's worrisome. And I will not pretend otherwise. This is not a good sign. It's a bad omen, as I said earlier.
So why don't we hear Mrs. Gandhi say something? To reach out to top leaders, because there seems to be this chasm which still exists. I know you disagree with the term G23, but those leaders who feel that they need to be respected more by the senior leadership, ideologically all the same at one level, but yet this chasm. So should Mrs. Gandhi, Rahul and Priyanka do more to fix that chasm, go a bridge over it?
Well, first of all, I'm glad you said that I'm not a part of G23. But I do believe that the very minimum that every functionary of a political party expects is respect for his or her services, respect for seniority, respect for the right to have a different view.
Right.
Now, since this is in the public domain, since it has been, the view has, the tweet has come on the social media as in the public domain, therefore it has to be rebutted in the public domain.
Sure.
And that is why I'm speaking loud and clear.
Okay.
And I don't want to be ambiguous about it. There is no denying the fact that the language smacks of arrogance, of indignity, and of uncivility.
All right. Well, very strong words once again, Mr. Kumar. Thank you very much for speaking directly, taking my questions. Thanks very much.